So there's this small YouTube channel named Dhar Mann. Now, if you've been watching this channel for a bit, you know that I'm James Jonah Jameson, and Dhar Mann is my Spider-Man. I don't really like fake moral philosophers like him, and I think that he's a real piece of work. He lies about himself trying to be positive and all that crap, and I think that he's kind of a big bad guy, actually. I don't think that he's the moral philosopher he preaches. I've made it a series to call him out once a week on the deeper meanings behind his content and how he could potentially be having these horrible thoughts about the people around him. To sum it up so far, I think that he's racist because he doesn't seem to cast roles to people of Hispanic or Latino descent, despite his studio being surrounded by people of Hispanic or Latino descent. The LA population's half of them are Latino or Hispanic, and he always makes Caucasian people racist. For him being sexist, and you'll see more of that being later, I think that he's sexist because he makes women gold diggers a lot more. I don't think he's made a single video of a guy being... Actually, I think there's one, but I'm not really sure about that anymore. I don't remember. He makes a lot of skits on obese women being made fun of and just slapping a don't judge a book by its cover at the end in this sort of a mocking way. And usually stereotypes women to be these bimbos that should only be feeding into the male gaze. He also exploits poverty, is ableist, because he never really seems to include more action and romance in any meaningful message for, mental illnesses and stuff like that. He only puts in a lot of romance, and you'll see later on that the next one's kind of fucked up, honestly. And he always hires a lot of young actors nowadays. Half of them don't even look older than 25. But anyways, with that being said, let's begin. Yeah, Dhar Mann's kind of sexist because he makes fathers a lot more abusive than mothers. Just look at this. There's about 16 videos of dads being abusive, parent dad. We'll see later on. There's also the foster category where that's just a whole nother mess, and that's kind of fucked, Dhar Mann. You're stereotyping males to be more abusive than females, even though according to multiple sources, women have statistically been more abusive. Now, are they more likely to be abusive? No, it's just a coincidence. No gender is more likely to be abusive than the others. Well, biologically, males are more likely to be aggressive because, males have testosterone and that causes more aggression. I learned that in AP Psych. But, there's ways to control it, not every male is this guy that's beating up every single kid they see, making every single kid bite the curb. But bringing up the fact that more female parents statistically abuse their kids than male parents is for the purpose of, even if you want to make the argument that statistically men have been shown to abuse their kids more than women, which biologically is true but statistically is false. That's, I still debunk that because there's multiple sources saying that women, abuse their kids more than men. But at the end of the day, Dhar Mann is still sexist by stereotyping men to abuse their children more in some way, shape, or form. And I know this argument doesn't really make sense because I brought up the fact that testosterone causes more aggression within males. But the whole purpose of bringing that up is to say that there are errors, no gender is actually more likely to abuse their kids because there is an emotional human there's a human factor behind it. Sure, males are more likely, biologically more likely to be aggressive, and females are statistically more likely to beat their children. There's really no proof, no solid proof that one gender beats their kids more than the other. It's still balanced out. Not every single gender is more likely to abuse or do anything in general. Any gender can do anything. It's just equally likely at the end of the day. There are a few exceptions, but this isn't one of them, if that makes sense. I hope you at least took away a few points from this. I don't know how I missed this, but almost every single time he's made a video on Karens, they're females. I haven't seen a single video of him making a Karen a male, but who knows, maybe he has, I'm not really sure. I do understand that the term Karen usually refers to a white woman being a bit rowdy, and I actually don't think it's sexist. I kind of feel like Karen is a term that can be used for males as well, just calling everyone who gives a public freak out for no reason a Karen, that's fine. If used without sexist intent, it's okay. It's a funny term to call someone. But then again, I'm not a woman, I don't know what's sexist to females. But that's not the problem here. The problem is that Dhar Mann always makes Karen a female, whereas the overall general term for Karen refers to someone who just gives a freak out for no reason. So in short, Dhar Mann's kind of sexist for making every single Karen a female instead of splitting the balance somewhat evenly. Recently, Dhar Mann made a video called Two Mean Girls Backstab Best Friend, and I recently did cover that. In fact, while writing the script, I already have a video locked and loaded critiquing that video. However, I think that Dhar Mann just exploits mental health issues for his own personal gain. I made these videos in the previous video. I made these points in the previous video. I don't know what just happened there. Purple Monkey Dishwasher. So I'll just sum it up in a couple of seconds. 1. He never really outright encourages people to try and make the lives of people with bad mental health easier. He only shot a little message at the end where, "Oh, I made a severe lapse in my judgment. Can I please slide my hot dog in your buns and glaze it with some mayo?"
Hey, it's been a while. Love your new +1. Listen, I'm really, really sorry about what Regina did. It was awful, and I should have stood up for you then. But I was confused about what just happened, and she was telling me all these terrible things about you, and I realize now that it wasn't true. I just want you to know I'm not with her anymore.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that.
Don't be. She's a nasty person, and I don't know what I ever saw in her. Especially with someone like you right in front of me. And if you're interested, I'd like to take you out sometime.
Really? Even though I have a mental illness?
My sister taught me years ago, we all have our challenges, but it's what we go through, not who we are.
I've made a severe and continuous lapse in my judgment, and I don't expect to be forgiven. I'm simply here to apologize.
It's merch in the game. Make sure you head over to LoganPark.com right now and get your red hoodies.
It's literally just 2 seconds of "I'm sorry," and the rest of the video is just a guy hitting on the girl. Like there's nothing there. There's nothing of sustenance there. It's not a good video. It's just stealing the op's boyfriend. Like there's no rhyme or reason to any of these. And I'm really starting to think that you really don't care. And I'm referring to you. I really don't think that Dhar Mann cares about society's mental health at all. He just wants to rake in those fat stacks. You're clearly not even having fun writing life lessons for kids anymore. You just want to keep making these meaningless quote-unquote life lesson videos, and frankly speaking, they just suck. Shout out to this comment right here. They're right about every single point here. My guy, you are not making foster care look any better. Orphans kind of need the foster care system to get by because, you know, at the moment they don't have parents and they need a system they can rely on. However, and you, the audience, can watch these videos right now if you wanna. These videos portray the foster care system like some sort of evil place where joy goes to die. They make pretty much every single thing this comment points out, like in the videos. Favoriting the real child.
Get your eggs and your pancakes.
Thank you.
Can I get you folks anything else?
Can I have a milkshake, Mom?
Sure, honey. 1 chocolate milkshake, please.
I want a milkshake too.
Raina, you know your budget is $5. You already spent that on your eggs.
Just 1 milkshake is fine.
I'll be right back.
But how come he gets to have pancakes and a milkshake, but I don't?
I've told you this a million times. He is my real son. And you are just a foster child. You don't get the same things he gets. Because I am his real mom.
Well, where's my real mom? I want to see her. She told me she'd come back for me one day.
Well, she lied.
Makes foster kid do whatever gobbledygook for them.
Where have you been disappearing to?
Oh, I've just been working on...
What's that? Where did you get all this money? And that dress? You little thief! You've been going around stealing this whole time?
I didn't. I earned that money and I made this dress.
Oh, that's a load of crap. You don't have an ounce of talent in your little pinky toe to make anything. Look, I don't need the cops showing up around my place because you're pulling something.
But that belongs to me and I need it.
Oh, no. You're not seeing a dime of this. It belonged to whomever you stole it from. And now, it belongs to me. Don't forget, I'm the one that keeps this roof over your head.
Treats them like the average kid in a Chinese factory, and some more, but I'll add a couple more here. Every single foster care parent, like every single evil one, is a mom for some reason. So this guy's either watched Cinderella too much, or this is just more evidence that Dhar Mann is sexist because he's made like 10 videos of foster moms being evil, and like one, if you really want to stretch it, 2 foster dads or whatever being the evil ones. Doesn't really show the real mistreatment of foster kids other than making them Temu workers. By this I mean physical and emotional abuse and all that other crap. So yeah, thank you very much to the comment, the Chucky Network, for helping me out with getting more evidence that Dhar Mann's probably a sexist guy. But this time it's also degrading the foster care system as well. A system that has actually helped kids in ways that Dhar Mann doesn't understand because he has mommy and daddy with big numbers in a plastic rectangle. But yeah, that's about it. Long story short, I think that Dhar Mann's giga sexist because he thinks that men are big bad guys with a hot dog between their legs. He's still ableist, and he still thinks that women equal bad because they have XX chromosome. I don't really care for Dhar Mann's plots and stuff that much, but like, sure, it can use some work because, you know, it's not even that entertaining, but I mean, maybe it's entertaining to kids. I don't know, I'm not a kid anymore. But his writing and life lessons actually need some work, but first he needs to recognize that his content's a little bit sexist because he's always painting certain like groups, for example, women in this case, in bad lights. And it's just kind of discriminating at that point, honestly. And yeah, also please check out my series. I'll make a playlist with all these types of videos sometime if you want to share it with people. I don't know. But anyways, I hope you all have a good day, and bye.